guys, it's Gamer Ahmer here. So today I'm going to go ahead and show off some recent pickups that I've had in the last month or so. So a lot of these items I've picked up at GameStop, some retro video game stores, online, and they're scattered across the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, all the way back to Atari, Sega Genesis, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. So let's go ahead and see what I got. So first we have, this is the Icons light. So right here, this is actually a desktop light. If we open it up, you'll see that it actually has these 4 different icons on it, and it sits right on a base. They're different colors, and it has the PlayStation logo. Then it has a little cord right here that you just connect right in the back here, and there is a button on the side. So you can either display it just like this on a desk, in your game room, or pretty much anywhere on a shelf. Or you could go ahead and light it up, and now you have a little bit of light in your game room. Then continuing on with the PlayStation, we have this PlayStation 4 controller. Now this one is the 500 million limited edition controller. Now I wasn't able to pick up the 500 million limited edition console bundle, but I was able to grab this controller. So I'm really excited to have this one as it commemorates 500 million PlayStation consoles being sold. This is the translucent blue color. Now I'm probably going to keep this one still sealed in the box and just add it on display in my collection. And if I'm able to grab another one, I may open that one up. But I have the Spider-Man limited edition controller and a couple others that I use. So this one will just go on display. And then along that same note, we have this new color for the PlayStation 4. Now this controller, they released a couple others alongside this one. So this one has a greenish blue color, and it has these purple colors on it. This is a pretty sweet looking controller, so I had to pick this one up. It's a lot different than some of the other ones that they've released, so I was excited to add this one to my collection. And then I was able to get some of these. So these are Totokus, and this is the Crash Bandicoot. So this one is the regular version, and on the back here I thought it was pretty neat. It says First Edition, Premier Edition. So it's these little figures that PlayStation is now releasing. They have tons of different characters. They have God of War, Tomb Raider, and several other characters from PlayStation exclusive games. So I thought this was pretty neat to add to my collection. Kind of reminds me of those amiibos. Not sure if I'm going to try and collect all of them yet, but I had to pick up Crash Bandicoot because it's one of my favorite characters on the PlayStation, and I grew up playing these games, so I thought this was pretty neat. Then along that same note, I actually picked up another one. Now this one is the Golden Crash Bandicoot figure. So this one is pretty neat. It looks exactly like this one shape-wise, but it's actually all gold. So I had to add this one as well. And then along to some Nintendo Switch items. As you guys may know, Mega Man 11 had just released. Now this one is the Mega Man 11 Amiibo Edition. This was only released at GameStop, so I actually was able to have this one pre-ordered for a while, and this one came with the game and the amiibo bundle. And on the back here it says scan the amiibo in Mega Man 11 to unlock one in-game bonus item per day. So I thought that was pretty neat. Now these ones were actually very limited. My GameStop only had enough to fulfill pre-orders. So I'm super excited that I added this one to my collection. I may leave this one still sealed and try and buy the game separate so I can go ahead and play that. I just kind of want to keep this one on display for my amiibo corner. So here we have Super Mario Party. Now I was really excited for this one to be released. I've played all of these Mario Party games growing up. I had them on pretty much every system. I played them the most on the Nintendo 64 and continued playing them on the GameCube. I didn't really play the Wii or the Wii U version very much, so I'm really excited to get back into Mario Party and play these when I have some friends over. So I heard pretty good things about this Mario Party, and I'm really excited to go ahead and try out the online capabilities with this game and see exactly how it plays. And another neat thing about this game is I actually got this for $5 from GameStop. I used a bunch of my rewards and points, and I redeemed them for a coupon, so I was really excited to add this one to my collection pretty cheap. And then on to this Nintendo Switch game. So this is the limited run version of Night Trap, and it came with the game sealed, and it came with this collectible limited run card, and it has one of the characters from the game in it. So pretty much this is a full motion video. This was actually filmed, and the footage was actually used for this video game, where you can go ahead and interact with this full motion video. Pretty much you are a secret agent, and you have to look over a house full of teenage girls in a house that is full of danger. So this video game was pretty crazy back in the day. It actually got pulled from a lot of shelves. It was one of those controversial video games, and it actually set in place our rating system that we have today for video games. So it's pretty interesting to see this come to a Nintendo console, because back in the day it was only for Sega. It ported to other consoles, but it was never on Nintendo, and it was sworn to never be on Nintendo. So this is pretty neat that Limited Run went ahead and released this for the Nintendo Switch. So I'm pretty excited to go ahead and try out this game and see exactly how this version of the game plays. And it's just a pretty iconic game to have in your collection. And then I have this Pokemon Go Plus wristband right here. Now, I've played Pokemon Go since it came out on and off, and now I'm excited to have this wristband. I remember when it first came out, it was pre-orderable only, and I wasn't able to actually get one. Well, as time went on, I finally added one to my collection, and I'm going to go ahead and use this when I drive around and play some Pokemon Go. And then another neat thing that I've been waiting for. So this right here is a Nintendo 64 controller. Now it's not one of the older ones. This is actually a brand new design from Retro Fighters. Now they were on Kickstarter, and I ordered this shortly after finding out that they had this controller. Now this controller had a lot of attention to it, so I finally got mine in the mail, and now I'm really excited to go ahead and try this out. This is completely different than the older original Nintendo 64 controllers. It's made to actually make the gameplay a little bit more comfortable. especially for those fighter games and styles like that. So instead of having the 3 handles on it, you only have 2, and it fits more like a modern day controller. And this one is the updated version of the controller, so that's probably why this one came a lot later than some of the others, because this was actually replaced and they fixed some of the early bugs that were in this controller. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a review on this controller and play some games and see exactly how this one feels compared to the older style Nintendo 64 controller. And then on to some Atari games. We have this classic right here, Asteroids. Now I actually was given this by one of my coworkers, so this is pretty sweet. I'll have to go ahead and play this game again. This is a classic and I loved playing these games. And then here we have this Adventure. So this game was a little bit more challenging to find for a good deal due to the movie Ready Player One skyrocketing the price of this game. So I was really excited to add one of these in my collection and go ahead and give this game a try, as it looked like a lot of fun in the movie Ready Player One. And then on to some horror games. So for October, I actually went out and purchased quite a few older style horror games. Now first we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now I heard that this game was always pretty difficult to play. So pretty much you run around as a regular teenager and you have to find bones that are scattered on Elm Street of Freddy Krueger, and you have to take them to the high school and dispose of them in the furnace to go ahead and destroy him. So I thought that was pretty neat. I've never actually played this game, probably because it was a little bit difficult back in the day. So I'm really excited to give it a go, especially since it's October and Halloween is just right around the corner. And then we have this Will Harvey Presents the Immortal. So pretty much you are a wizard in this video game. Looks pretty creepy on this sticker right here. Not really exactly sure how this plays, but I figured I'd try it out. Then here we have a classic. We have Bram Stoker's Dracula. So this game was actually on multiple consoles, so I had to add it to my collection for the Nintendo version. I do have it on the Sega CD already. And then here we have this Monster Party. Now on here you'll see Dracula and some other monsters on here. Not too sure exactly how this video game is, but I heard it's a lot of fun, so I'll have to give it a go. And then on to some Super Nintendo games. We have this Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. So pretty much you run around as Porky and you have to go ahead and live through some of your nightmares. So this one looked like a pretty fun game, and I figured I'd try it out. And then on to another horror game. We have The Adventures of Dr. Franken. So this game looked pretty neat. I went ahead and looked up a little bit of information on this game. So pretty much you have Dr. Franken and his girlfriend. So you have to run around and collect her bones all over the area. You have to travel to go ahead and find them. So this seemed pretty interesting and looks pretty fun, so I'll have to try it out. And then I found this game. So this one is Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City. Now, This isn't any ordinary sports game for the Super Nintendo. This is actually pretty interesting. On the cover here you see Michael Jordan, and he's holding some basketballs, and this one's on fire. So the premise of the game, you run around and you actually throw basketballs at enemies. So I thought that was pretty sweet. It's definitely a spin on some of the classic sports games, and it's pretty neat. So I'll have to go ahead and try this one out. Then on to another Nintendo game. Here we have Wild Gunman. So this is actually a light gun for the Nintendo system. Now I have several other light gun games for the Nintendo, and this one has been on my want list for a while. I actually found it for a really good deal, so I couldn't pass it up. So I'm really excited to pull out that old zapper and move Duck Hunt aside and go ahead and try this Wild Gunman out. And then on to the last pickup. Here we have Soldiers of Fortune for the Sega Genesis. Now this one actually looks like a really fun game. So this one is kind of like one of those run and gun games. And on the back here it says high risk, high pay, deadly play. It's 8 miles of bubbling mud pits to the compound. Once inside, you're up against the deadly chaos engine. It has the power to create any kind of trap, any type of monster. If you can make it back, you'll never need to work again. Going solo would be lethal. Who to take? The thug and his sawed-off. That mercenary with the Gatling gun. Be sure to take the right cover, man, because this could either be your last day of work or your last day of life. So this looks pretty fun, and I'm really excited to go ahead and have another run and gun in my collection. So I'll have to go ahead and play this one for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and comment below on what you thought.